Setting aside my own work, we've published more standalone games from John Theissen than any other designer. And that's because his games are fantastic, for all the reasons Cole Worley got into in his video on this channel. John's new game, Beware the Ides of March, is about the Liberators' Civil War, so you got Brutus and Cassius, Octavian and Mark Antony. John's games deserve a wider audience, so we took pains this time around to make the game as approachable as possible, even for people who have never played a traditional war game before. Now, the game uses a lot of charts and tables, and that might seem a little scary at first, but it's not really. They give you texture and context to your decisions, and each of these charts are really simple. Like, start of the turn, you check if there's a storm. We checked. Boom, we're done. The Liberators get a reinforcement on turn 1, and then they check to see if they can recruit another unit. They have control of 6 provinces, so they need a 5 or better. +1 for high prestige, -1 because it's winter, so they just need a 5. They roll a 3, no recruit, boom, we're done. The player then has 3 move phases. During the naval phase, you move your ships, including transports. Transports can cross the open sea and carry units, but that comes with a risk, so we have to roll on the sea movement table to check if there's a tempest. They make it safely and plop down a disc. The 7th province will help them with next turn's recruitment. During the land phase, they get infantry into position so they can attempt to cross to Greece next turn. Of course, that depends on the transports making it safely back, which they do in the transport phase. On the Triumvir's turn, they move against a garrison belonging to Sextus Pompey, pirate lord of Sicily. This is a non-player piece, but dislodging them will increase their prestige, and that's what the game is about. The first side to drop to 0 loses. Both sides begin at 14, so they're just above the low prestige level. Octavian is eager to shore up his political support with a show of force. So, combat. You count each side's units, except 2 of these are veteran legions, which count double. That's 5 against 1. The side with more leaders, in this case red, gets a column shift, turning this into 6-1 odds on the combat results table. Predictably, the garrison is eliminated, while Octavian suffers 5% losses. That's so small they actually suffers no losses at all, and winning this tiny battle increases Red's prestige by 1. Now, player-controlled forces have the option of avoiding battle with a retreat before combat roll. That's precisely what happens when the Liberators go on the offensive in Illyricum. By this point, we're in summer. The hot weather and the increased density of an army camp require a roll on the attrition table. Brutus's army is weakened by plague. The Triumvirs see their chance. Blue tries to retreat, but fails. It's 11 against 9. Remember, those legions in the top row are doubled, which rounds to even odds, 1-1. But red has more leaders, making it a 2-1, and blue has that plague marker, 3-1. It's 33% losses for red and 43% for blue. Here we only count the actual number of units, no doubling, which is 6 for each side. That's 2 losses for red and 3 for blue. For each loss, they also lose a prestige, but red won this large battle, and when you win a large battle, you gain 2 prestige. Now that one side's dipped into low prestige, Rome's looking like an inviting target, so we have to start each turn by checking for an invasion. Low prestige also opens blue up to defection, a role that depends on supply status, plague, and the presence of a leader. This whole stack defects, and that's not great. They're removed from the board, and that's 3 more losses. With this low prestige, it's also going to be harder for them to replace those units. Coming to the final turn for the year, the Liberators are eager to win back some political support by dispatching those invaders. They attack at what is ultimately 3-1 odds, but roll the question mark result. This directs them to a sub-table where each side rolls separately to determine their losses, and to see if the battle can continue, resulting in bloody escalation. All these little pieces together create a rich narrative full of decision points. Historically, the Liberators were finished by turn 5. Here, because of the choices we made and the environment we made them in, they're still holding on. That's the magic of operational games in general, and John's games in particular. That's why we're so excited to share this new game with you. Beware the Ides of March releases on, well, the Ides of March.